Hi everyone, welcome to Knotty Yarnies. My name is Barb and I'm coming to you from Ontario, Canada. So I'm trying out something new. You might see me look there, you might see me look there. I've got my phone recording that I normally would use. And over here I got my brand new camera that I showed on my last podcast that I received from my husband and my two sons for Christmas. So I'm going to try to edit my video so that I can have the video of my camera and use my laptop to edit. But I might, if it takes me a couple of days to get this up, that's fine. But if it's longer than that, I will just go back on my phone to record, just until I get used to the programming and things on my laptop. So you don't need to know all about that. Today is International Cheese Day, I believe. Just one second, I wrote it down. International Cheese Lovers Day when I record this, but tomorrow on the 21st, which is really close, it's like midnight, is National Hug Day, which would be fabulous if we were allowed to actually hug people. And it's International Squirrel Appreciation Day. Check out my squirrel. So I had to have him there. It's not mine. I made him for my husband one year for Father's Day or his birthday. I can't remember which, but he just asked for him. He's seen him on Facebook and he just wanted him so bad. So I knew I had to make him, but his tail's full of the loop stitch. And if you've ever did the loop stitch in crochet, probably in knittings, if there's a loop stitch, it probably takes a while too. So it took a while. It took a whole ball of yarn just for his tail. So where can you find me, you ask? Besides here on YouTube, you can find me at all the places at Knotty Yarnies. So Gmail, Instagram, Facebook. The only place I'm not Knotty Yarnies yet is Ravelry, and on Ravelry I'm Bubba Tis Me, and that's in the down arrow down below for you to check out. Go on, and I have all my projects listed there. I started really getting to use it probably 6 months or so ago, probably about the same time I started podcasting, because I knew I wanted to make sure I kept all my project up to date. In case anybody had any questions, I could send them there to look at them. And I do a lot of testing, so I wanted to see how that was, to have everything listed there, so people and the testers that I tested for, or no, the designers that I tested for, so all their designs were there. So I'm hoping that my TV is not too bright on my camera, but I'm sure there's a way I could probably lessen the brightness if it is. So we'll go with this. I'm using the ring light that my brother and his family bought me for Christmas also. I'm also using the tripod that he bought me for Christmas. I'm using my old tripod as well for my camera, because it needed a part and I ordered that part on Amazon, so it was a camera attachment. Anyway, get into this. So this week, it's been 2 weeks since I podcasted, and this week has been a very busy week, but it has lots of special days in it. So this week was my mom's 70th birthday. Happy birthday, Mom, again. I wish I could hug her. It's been too long. This year's been tragic for so many reasons, and just not being able to hug your own mom is really one that really bothers my heart. And also yesterday it's not really an anniversary, we don't really celebrate it, but 30 years ago yesterday, my husband had called me, a 19-year-old me. Oh, I guess that's kind of telling my age a little bit. And he called me for a date, and we sat on the phone for like 4 or 5 hours until, like, I said yes right away, but we sat on the phone and just talked and talked and talked until about an hour before our date started. And I'm like, I gotta go, I gotta get dressed, like it's my first date with this man, I need to get all dolled up. So, and here we are 30 years later, married, 2 children, married almost 28 years it'll be this year. Gosh, time flies. And also today is a friend of ours' birthday. Today is Thursday, the 21st. Happy birthday, Mary. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. And hopefully we get to see you. If we don't get to see you today, we'll get to see you tomorrow when we do our weekly grocery trip. So I know sometimes she watches my podcast because she's a fellow crafter as well. So I'm hoping she has the best birthday that she can have under these times, just like anybody else if they're having to have a celebration and can't be around anybody. It's tough. So let's get into it, shall we, everyone? I've got so much to tell you about, excited about, so much I did since I seen you last. I swear that's all I've been doing is knitting and crocheting and probably doing household duties, and that was it. Like I don't think I've stopped. So my first object that I wanted to show you that I couldn't show you last time was a test that I did, a test crochet for Teri, crochet at the @ symbol, Teri's. And in some places it's crochet @ symbol, Teri's creations as well. So, but on Ravelry, this is a $5 pattern in her country, and it was $9.06 Canadian, but it's like a huge pattern. There's like 48 pages, I believe. There's lots that go with it. So here he is. Dun, 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 dun. Look at the little tail on the guy. I don't know if you'll see it. And look at the stacker. It's a stacker toy, guys. He's a giraffe. I'm going to make one more of these little guys. Oh, wait. So there's a sloth and a zebra and a bear. And there's, with this pattern, there's also a hippo. I believe there's an elephant, a lion. Oh my goodness, what else was there? Oh, there was a bunch. I think there was about 9 or 12 different stackers, and they come in large, medium, or I don't have a small. These are 2 medium size and a large one. So I'm going to make a small one to fit on top just to finish it off. So yeah, this was fun to make. I tested her pattern. I'm used to certain designers' patterns, and as I'm crocheting them, I understand how they write. So someone from a different country, I love a challenge. So I like to challenge myself like this and test patterns for people. So get to learn how they write patterns as well. So that's what I did. And I struggled a couple places, but she was quick to answer me with any questions. So I did this all out of Bernat satin yarn, and I used a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook. I believe the pattern calls for a 1.5 and number 2/8 yarn. I barely have any 2/8 yarn. Most of my yarn is a 4. So this was a thin 4. Bernat satin is a very thin 4. It's like Karen's Simply Soft, where it's on the thinner side of 4s, almost into a 3. Just upsize my needle, and I'm sure it's probably larger than a lot of them. This is kind of like you could go like this, but for a child, easy to pull it through the nose, right? So yeah, look at that little fella. I hope this is my camera. I hope it's focusing in all right. When I did a test thing with my camera last night for 5 minutes, and whatever was closest to the camera it zoomed in on, and if I hid my face, it zoomed out of my face. So hopefully you can see this. I'll hide my face to make sure you can. Love this. So this will be something that I give when I have when we're allowed to go to baby showers again. So my next baby shower that I go to, that hasn't peeked and watched my channel, they'll be getting this with their baby item, whatever it may be, because this is great for a boy or a girl. That was great, great fun. My next finished object, make sure I said everything about that. Yeah, it's called the Wild Animal Stackers. So if you're looking on Ravelry, just type in Wild Animal Stackers. I'll try to remember to put the name above here so that you can see it. I'll try to point every time so I know when I'm editing where to put the words. My next project is they're moccasins, but they're a Yarnspiration pattern. They're very, very, very comfy, very, very, very cozy. I make these with Bernat blanket yarn as well. This is made with Bernat Chunky, and it's rough enough that it's not really, really slippery on wooden floors. I've probably made about 20 dozen pairs of these over the last 5 years for my craft shows and for gifts. And my husband's birthday is actually this Sunday. No, is it Sunday? Yes, it's this Sunday. And he just threw me a hint 2 days ago that his are worn out. Because I asked him why he wasn't wearing his old ones. And I think they last about 2 years normally, just sitting around in them and maybe doing an odd trip to the washroom or something. So I'm going to, after I do my video, I'll probably sit down and probably start making his slippers. So yeah. So again, these are Yarnspirations pattern. You can find it free on the interwebs. And Mikey from the Crochet Crowd, if you go on to his YouTube channel, just type in moccasins or slippers and his video comes up for this. Awesome video. I just crochet along with it each and every time. It's just like having him there with me, and I just enjoy that. So I used, as I said, the Bernat Chunky. I had to go down a hook size and up a pattern. So if I was wanting medium slippers, because the pattern calls for a bit chunkier the way I crochet, I had to go up a hook or down a hook size, sorry, and then up a size pattern. So if I want a medium, I did a size large. My words are not coming tonight for me. Probably has something to do with it's like midnight, so, and I barely slept last night. These fit so comfortably. Now take note that when Mikey does the pattern, he does it so there's white on the inside as well. I didn't really like that. I did one pair like that and it got really, really dirty and yucky looking fast. So I omitted that. I just crocheted around when I was done the whole moccasin around here and then made a tall, like kind of like a cuff. And then I sewed it down so it stayed in place here. And then I put my tie here. And this is Pipsqueak yarn, if you're wondering. So you can get that kind of yarn, that fluffy yarn, in all different colors. It doesn't even have to be white. So if you wanted to follow the way Mikey did it and get a brown or something, or a black, so you don't notice how dirty they get, that would be an idea as well. What else can I tell you about this? You can use, I've used ribbon instead of a chain, or you could make it a knitted I-cord if you want, but I used ribbon in some as well. And that way, when you feed it all the way around, I don't know if Mikey's pattern does this, but I fed mine all the way in and out of before I did the Pipsqueak, and so that when you tie it, you can tie it so it's tight and snug. You can pull it tight on your feet. I don't remember which hook I used or anything, but as I said, it's a free pattern. Anybody wants any of these patterns that I say that are free, or even if they're not, if you want a link, just let me know down below and I will give it to you. I don't do that for every video, but I have no problem sending you links for things if you need it. So that's my number 2 FO. My next one is kind of a hoe and a whip at the same time. So I finished, I don't know if you guys remember, but one of my New Year's resolutions was to knit a pair of socks. So Barb knit a sock. I'm making sure it's in frame for both cameras. This was made, and oh, this is just a plain vanilla sock. I wasn't doing anything fancy for my first sock pattern, and I just used a cheaper yarn. I'll tell you about the yarn in a second. I watched the Crazy Sock Lady, Kay, and I used 9mm circular needles. Not 9mm. Scratch that. I used 9-inch circular needles, guys, for the whole thing until the toe. Because as you're decreasing, you need to put them on magic loop. But I was waiting for my bigger sized Chow Goose to come in the mail, so I had to wait for the toe to finish it up. I did as far as I can go with the 9-inch circulars. So I did a 1x1 regular 1x1 rib, and then heel, flap, and gusset, and then right to the toe. I measured, stopped at a 1.75 inches before my toe, the tip of my toe, for the decreases to leave room. So that's my hoe. And on this, I have a little stitch marker. It says, I love knitting. Now, if anybody's interested in that, just go to Heather Sampson. She's of Howling Hills Studio on Instagram or at howlinghillsstudio@gmail.com. Now, is she on the internet as well? There's this tag here. Oh, on Facebook too, Howling Hills Studio. Here's her card. Howling Hills Studio. Yeah, I'm kind of finding my camera really, really bright. So I'll probably have to tone down the color. It's nice that it's really, really bright. I really like that. So there's my finished sock. So my hoe, which is half of an object finished. And in my bag, in my Wild Willie's handmade glow in the dark, it glows in the dark, guys, bag, and my I got my little zipper pull there with a Canadian beaver and a Canada flag on it. And here is my 9-inch circular needles. Look how tiny they are, guys. Look how small. I had to put little rubber stoppers on because they're just so small to be knitting with. I only honestly can knit 20 rows at a time before my fingers get sore because I'm holding them in here, and it's really, I don't know if it's because the yarn is so rough, it really cuts into my fingers. So I just do 20 rows and then I stop, and then the next day I'll work another 20 rows and I'll stop. It goes by super, super fast anyway. I mean, the days just fly by. So this is made using the Lion brand sock yarn called Sock Ease, and the colorway, which is 75% wool, 25% nylon. And then this colorway is called Taffy, if anybody's interested. I hope that's showing up on both of the phones. And then when I got my Chow Goose, I got my red lace Chow Goo needles just for the toe. I think when I didn't want to switch the second and do magic loops for the second whole sock, because I've heard if you go to do your second sock with a different set of needles, even though it's the same size, if you're making magic loop or GPNs, or if you switch, you might end up with a different tension. So I really wanted to stick with the 9-inch circulars. But I think from now on I will do magic loop. That way I can do more than 20 rows if I wanted to. Okay, so And for these bags, guys, you're going to see probably 4 different bags from Wild Woolly Handmade. I made a huge purchase before Christmas. And if you go on to her Etsy page, go through Ravelry, go through Instagram, type in Wild Woolly Handmade, and I'll link it, have the thing in the drop down. And you go in there, and if you type the word in Knotty, Knotty, you'll receive 15% off. I do believe it's still active. I can't say 100% sure, but she didn't give me an end date. I'm hoping it's still okay. If it's not, I apologize. If it's not, still worth it. Believe me, guys, beautiful work. The craftsmanship on her bags is fantastic. She's got glow in the dark stuff. Like this glows in the dark. I walk in the room at night or something and I see the moon and the stars just glowing on this. It's gorgeous. And it's like a really, really nice size. And it's got pouches in the inside. Love it. So this is the first one. I won't talk so much about the other ones. I'll just show you the bag. Okay, so that's my first whip and first and last hoe. My next one, I'll switch to crochet for this guy in another Wild Woolly Handmade bag. This one has a handle, drawstrings, has a clip to put your keys on or whatever you want, a pom-pom or whatever. I've got on it my pins. So I've got some pins from the Crochet Crowd, a pin, and then I got 2 from the Grocery Girls that I got on there. And in here, I'm actually designing a shawl, just a plain rectangular crochet shawl that's going to be just kind of like a sampler shawl, so with different stitches all throughout, but mostly I'm trying to make it more lacy. Don't let that scare you. It's real easy. So here's the first section. I don't think I made it to the next section yet, but here's the first section of it. The yarn is nice and lofty and soft and kind of a little bit on the scratchier side because of the shiny material flecks in it, but it's because I just wanted to use what I had, right? So I use this Loops and Threads shimmer shawl, and it's a number 3 weight light yarn. And like I said, I just wanted to use what I had, and it's probably going to take this and maybe a half another ball for the pattern actually. And it says 3mm hook, but I think I'm using a 5mm just to make it more holey and more drapey. So it'll be a while. I had someone offer to test this for me, and it'll be a while before that comes out because I'm so busy with so many other things too. I do a little bit of each project every second day, like I'm switching. And on my sock, I'm mostly doing that almost every day. I'm doing 20 rows. So my next work in progress, again, another Wild Woolly Handmade in my alpaca bag. And I got a little bought myself a little zipper pull to match, a little owl on it. I struggle sometimes with my fingers, which is funny that I knit and crochet so much when I have sore fingers. But it's more, once I have a grip of something, I'm fine. But it's more doing something like that, grasping the zipper. Silly, I know. So what I'm making here, I'm going to show you a picture on my iPad because it's a better picture than what I've got on the ball band. So here is a picture of the project. Not in the colorway I'm doing though. This is called the Simply Crescent Shawl. And it, if you go on YouTube, on Marley Bird's YouTube channel, and you type in Simply Crescent Shawl, it's a knitted pattern, and Marley Bird has a video for it. I'm using 5mm knitting needles, and I'm using, oh, let's see, I have all the information written down here. Here we go. Red Heart Hopscotch yarn in the colorway of Hula Hoop. So here's the color of the yarn. It's got all different neat colors. And this is my first shawl actually making in knit. And I got just in time, we'll talk about this later, my cables for my addies. Oh, we're all twisted here. And I made sure I wasn't in the middle of a row this time, guys. I've been on this for a while, but I've did quite a bit since I showed you last. So I figured I'd show it to you again. So I was way down there, and now I'm way up here. Yep, there we go. My needles are still stretched, even though they have two 22-inch cables on it. So 54 inches of cables, and I could still add another one because I still have about 10 more rows to go. So I'm pretty close to being done that. What do you think of that, guys? It's a nice thick shawl for here in Ontario. A worsted weight, be nice and warm. So I wanted to see how much I'll wear a shawl in the winter versus wearing one in the summer, or not really the summer, the spring and fall. So I'm anxious to get that off the needles. I'll show you the next item. I kind of can't show you too much of it. It's in my bag my husband bought me before Christmas when we went shopping in Ottawa. And I'm using just some Caron cotton cakes. This is not the main color. This is the secondary color. This one is called Sunset Dreams. And then the other color I am using is a beautiful, beautiful pink. It's called Frosted Pink. Gorgeous colors. And I kind of could maybe show you a little bit. She wants it a secret, so I won't show you too much, but here's the pink. Okay, it's crocheted. And here is part of the pattern as well. With the other parts, I can't show you too much. I apologize. I know it does not look like much when you can't show too much. But I will tell you the designer so that you'll know when I show it next time who it is by. So you can say, oh, I remember Barb talking about that. So this test crochet is a designer called Kayla Osborne. Okay, and she has a Facebook page, and she's always looking for testers. So this is the first time I actually noticed, because I'm not on Facebook very much. And I noticed, oh, she's looking for a tester, and it's a Valentine's test. So I'm not telling you what it is. But do you guys think those were Valentine's colors? Like it's pinks and purples and a little bit of light blues. And so I'm kind of excited. I'm about halfway done it already. I realize now, since I've been knitting so much lately, that how quickly my crochet goes, like very, very fast. Oh, I forgot to tell you about what I'm wearing. I am wearing the Heart Hook Home's Velvet Cardi. This is Ashley at Heart Hook Home. I've made 4 of these. Yes, 4. Made myself 2. This one out of velvet yarn, and I made one out of scarfy yarn, which is a bit warmer. And I made my mother-in-law and my mom one for Mother's Day last year. So, and they both get a lot of use. Oh, it is beautiful, guys. Like, it's not, you have to hand wash it and lay it to dry so it doesn't worm. And it says hand wash right on the label. A lot of people are afraid of this yarn because they figure it pills, or not pills, sorry, it worms, but it won't worm if you treat the fabric right. So I just hand wash, lay flat to dry. Not a problem. And this is a year almost a year later. No, mine is a year because I made it last winter. And here we are. Oh, it's beautiful. It fits gorgeous, guys. Oh, you know what? My camera stopped recording already. So what I'll do is I will insert the first portion of my camera. I'll try to do this anyway, and then try to figure out how to put the second portion as my my phone. Not sure why it would stop recording. And I just noticed it now. Maybe I'll see if it'll record again. Okay. Movie recording has been stopped automatically. The time. And we're back on my camera. I guess I could only record for 30 minutes, so I hope you didn't miss much. I was just talking about my sweater, Heart Hook Home, how comfy, cozy it is, and the velvet yarn, Burnett Velvet. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. So I have 30 more minutes before it shuts off, so fingers crossed. Now, next time I'll know that. I'll hit 30 minutes and I'll excuse myself and then just cut that all out. Or try to figure out how to cut that all out. I'm not sure. Now, my next one, just one second. I'm also drinking my tea out of my Grocery Girls mug. So I got my chai tea. It's Stash brand, and it is red dragon, red spice dragon, something like that. It's almost cold now, guys. I almost forgot about that. And okay, so my next one, if you're doing the mystery knit along with the Cozy Up ladies, that's why I put this last. You might want to fast forward for a little bit, for about 5 minutes, while I talk about this, because I'm done with the clue 3. I'm all the way caught up. Tomorrow night, or tonight, Thursday night, it will come out, the next clue. They usually put it out around 11 or 12 at night. So Friday is really the clue day. So that's clue number 4. And I'm on clue number 3. And if you're not caught up to clue number 3, maybe you know what it is already, then that's fine and you'll look. So this is clue number 3 with the Cozy Up sisters. And it's called Favorite Things MKAL 2021. That could be it. It's something like that. So I don't have any hand-dyed yarn like they have. I have skein that I won and a skein of mohair that I won off of Ramona Lee's YouTube channel. And I'm just seeing what kind of shawl. I'm making a few different shawls to see what kind I'll actually wear a lot before I use that hand-dyed yarn. My birthday's coming up, not till May, but it's a special birthday. I'm turning 50 in May, around the long weekend in May. Here we have a long weekend called Victoria Day, the weekend before the States, Memorial Day in the States. It's the weekend before that. We celebrate Queen Victoria's birthday here. And I'll be 50. So fingers crossed. I've asked a bunch of times for hand-dyed yarn, but I know the price is so expensive. It's so luxurious though. Just to have one item, maybe one sweater's quantity worth. It's a dream. I could dream. If not my birthday, maybe for Christmas next year. And that would be fine too. But for now, I figured I'd use what I have, softer yarns. And it calls for a number 3, DK weight 3, as the main color. And then as the secondary fingering weight you can use, but they recommend mohair. I don't have mohair. I just have the one skein, and I don't want to put it in a shawl that I'm not sure I'm going to wear. So I want to make sure it's like I said, the shape of it is exactly what I want, and then I'm going to do that shawl. So I'm making a few different shaped shawls, but I didn't realize it's going to be the same shape as the one I just showed you. But this one's going to be a little bit lighter. So instead of number 3 DK, I'm using Caron Simply Soft. in a tweed. It's a gray tweed, colored called Gray Heather, of course. It's gorgeous yarn. And I'm also using wool-like loops and thread. The colorway is called, well, weirdly enough, it's called mauve, and it looks more burgundy than mauve to me. What do you think? Yeah, I swear that's burgundy. But it's turning out, oh, it's in my Bitch Please unicorn bag that I got from Wild Woolly Handmade before Christmas. Okay, so here is, so if you don't want to know up to clue 3, look away, guys. There was 2 options to do garter stitch border, or to do the cable tab border. If you remember my goals for this year, doubt anybody remembers those. One of them was to do some cable work. I did it. It took me 4 times. That's 8. 4 times to figure it out, but I did it. I'm so proud of myself. Socks, cable tab, oh my gosh, and I'm so glad I'm doing it. It's not easy to me yet, but it's getting there. But I'm glad I did it, because I really don't care for the look of the garter one much at all. So here it is. Dun, dun, dun. So you see along the bottom there, I'll see if I can fold it up so you can see it a bit better. Along the bottom is that garter, that twisted, it's pretty tight because I think I knitted that a little bit tight. I probably should have went up a needle size. So here's the cable twist right here. And then I did short rows that I've never did before. And I did some different stitches in there. I don't know if you can see the like kind of bobbly in there. And then up here, there's another like lace work that I've never did before. It's gorgeous, guys. Like, oh my gosh. It's going to be super warm. And I didn't even do the mohair, and it's going to be warm. But I just love it. It's beautiful. But like I said, it's the same shape as the other one. So that was the whole point of me doing the mystery knit along. I was hoping it was a different shape than the one I already started. But I enjoyed joining in on make-alongs, and mystery ones or not. Sometimes I like ones that aren't mysteries as well. But I'm getting along. So if you think you want to join in, it's not too late. I did clues 1 and 2 on the 2nd week. So I was caught up because I was doing the test for the stacker toy, and I didn't get in time for the 1st week. So when clue 2 came out, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm behind a week. And they told me, well, they didn't just tell me, they told everybody that the weeks 1, 2, and 3 would take the longest. So I was a little panicked about that, but I did weeks 1 and 2, and it flew by for me. I had clues 1 and 2 done in that 1st week, or the 2nd week, week 2. And then when the 3rd clue came out last Friday, I had it done by Sunday night. So I was pretty proud of myself. But of course, that was just me knitting on that right alone. I was so excited to get clue 3 done, be caught up, go into Ravelry group, the Ravelry group, and tell everybody that, you know, here's my week 3. I thought I did it so fast, guys, that I would have been the first one to be finished to show it off. No, I wasn't. I wasn't at all. I just laughed thinking that, even me thinking that I was the first one. That was kind of funny. Test crochet. I talked about that already with everybody. Oh, something I learned this week from Kay, the Crazy Sock Lady. I think the next socks I'm going to do, this always interested me. I said, there's got to be a pattern out there somewhere for knitted socks, knit in a tube, like from cuff all the way to toe as one piece. I didn't really want to put a heel in. I know there's an afterthought heel. I didn't really want to put a heel in, But I've seen somebody have a pattern this week that had like a ribbing across the heel instead. So when they're going around, they do like a knit 2 purl 2 ribbing for so long where your heel would be, just on the back side, so it would stretch and form around your heel. I didn't really care for the look of that, but I mean, they're on your feet. What does it really matter, right? But I watched her video and I learned how to put an afterthought heel, and I don't think it's as scary as I thought it was going to be. So I think I'm going to have a lot of fun doing some tube socks. And as you noticed on my sock, I didn't do a different color heel, toe, or cuff because I kind of forgot. Like I was watching her video and I wrote notes as I went, so I knew exactly what I was doing on my second sock, so I didn't have to watch the video for my second sock. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm halfway through the heel. I'm like, I forgot to put a different color. It looks fine the way it is anyway, and it fits me perfectly, which is amazing because I hear so many people say they need to figure out the recipe for their socks, and I'm like, oh, they're not going to fit me. They're not going to be close, but they fit me pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. And I did, I guess I didn't tell you, I did a 64 stitch on 2.25 millimeter knitting needles. That was my count. I should have said that when I told you about my socks. Yeah, so I was really excited about the heel. So also about the heel, the talking about socks, I seen on Chevy Rell this week on YouTube, she was talking about a sock formula. So she emailed it to me, and I haven't sat down and played around with it yet. So I'm kind of testing her pattern and looking at her pattern, making sure the spelling's all right and everything like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and make those socks by the formula she provided. So that's going to be fun as well. So hopefully I can do math for that day anyway. I've been keeping up good in the groups and with hashtags on Instagram. So if you go on my Instagram, you should see more and more posts about as I go. I hope it doesn't spoil the podcast for you though. So I got thinking that, so wondering if you let me know, do you want me to wait until after I podcast to post the stuff on Instagram, or do you like seeing what I make and then come to the podcast to learn more about what it is that I made? Let me know. I would love to hear your answers. So one thing I told everybody I was going to do by this podcast was to figure out how much yarn I used in 2020 from January 1st at 12:01 a.m. until December 31st at 11:59 p.m. I kept every ball band. I'll tell you though, in this count that I'm going to give you, there is no partial skeins. Any balls that had any amount left, I always tuck them in the yarn. So these are full complete balls that I used that had none left, not even a little piece, like a round little ball left. So I used multiple balls of it, and I just kept the last little bit in like a container like this, or in drawers or whatever. So here's the total. So full complete balls, I used 197 balls of yarn in 2020. And that is equal to 111.89 pounds. 111.89 pounds, which is 50.797 kilograms. I can't believe that. So in grams, if you do grams and ounces, that's 50,797 grams, which is 1,791.811 ounces. Now, if you're interested in the length, this blew me away. I live in a city called Pembroke, and if I was to drive from Pembroke towards Ottawa, it would be an hour drive, like Arnprior. So it worked out to be 42.034 miles, or 67.647 kilometers. Almost 68 kilometers of yarn I've knitted or crocheted just this past year. So included in some of that, some of the projects I did 9 Afghans. I did 20 koala bears. I don't know if you could see this guy here in the shopping cart. I did 20 of those, and the ones that I sold, I donated the money. I charged $30 a piece, and I donated the money for all of them to the Australian Fund for the Wildlife Fund for their wildfires that they had last year. So that was very, very rewarding. So I donated the yarn myself. I didn't take the yarn money out. I just bought all the yarn, and that was my contribution. And then the people that purchased them for 30 each, the whole entire 30 went there. There was a few people that gave me extra money towards it, paid me 50 instead, and bless their souls, and that got sent as well, the extra money. So that's just thrilling. I just noticed today online there was a yarn company, a yarn store in Lindsay, Ontario, and oh, I'll try to remember to put the name up here. And they're making squares and getting together for people to knit or crochet squares, I guess, to make blankets for people that are suffering with COVID. So I don't know if they have to be in the hospital or what it is, what the rules are. It didn't really give me rule. I just, when I was interested, I typed that I'm interested, but you have to send them your information and send off their email. So I did that. So I'm waiting to hear back from them what the rules are and everything, what kind of yarns they want you to use and things. So if you're interested, I'll put that name again up here of that store, and you just click on their website. It's real easy to find the information there. So I didn't do, oh, let me know too how the sound is if I'm posting with my camera. I'll try to put at the beginning that I'm using the camera versus the phone so that you guys know which one I'm used for the video, so you can let me know how the sound is, or if I need to purchase like a microphone or something. Anything that's wrong. If it's not focusing, let me know. It's such a tiny screen to see compared to my phone. My phone, I can see myself perfectly on it, like it's like a little TV screen, honestly. But on my camera, it has a smaller screen for me to view, and you're 5 feet away, so it's hard to know if it's totally focused, right? So my last thing to show you is a couple of things that I've got in the mail for purchases. I don't go anywhere to buy anything, so I just purchased a couple of things with my Christmas money. So I seen this as I was scanning through Amazon, and it's a little book called I Love Knitting stickers. And inside are just little stickers of knitted items. Yeah, there's what is there? 6 pages. 1, 2, 3, maybe there's just 4. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's just 4 pages. Oh no, yeah, there's just 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's just 4. And there, and then there. So I figure I'll put them on things like on the back of my phone, or on a knitting bag, or my laptop, or even a drinking cup or something. Then here I was telling you about my Addies that my husband got me before Christmas. I got another extender with it, and I got 3 22-inch cables. They call them, so you know, Addie calls them 32-inch cables. So they say you get 3 32-inch cables, but they add in the length of your needles. So the tips, so mine are 5 inches, so there's 10 inches, so these are considered 32-inch. So I thought I was getting 96 inches of cord, when in fact I've got 66 inches of cord, because if you put them all together, right? So I got those in. These were $46 on Amazon. So for the 1 connector and the 3 cords. So now I could do big shawls. make sure I'm not in the middle of a row to podcast, and then I can spread it all out for you to see the whole thing really nicely. So it's not all bunched up, or a sweater, not all bunched up, right? And then the next thing I got from my mom, like I used my Christmas money. That's what I use for the Addies as well, is the ChalGoo, and they're for lace work. Like it's a little wee set for socks and shawls and little tiny things. They're just little. So it goes from 1.5 millimeter to 2.5 millimeter. So my 2.25 sock ones I showed you earlier. So, and then there's the, so 1.5, 1.5, 1.75. Yeah. 2.25, and 2.5. And in this kit comes the cables. So the cables, they do the same. They're included in the length of the needle. So I got cords enough to make a 40-inch cord with the needles, 26. No, that's not right. A 40-inch, 32, and 24. It's not a 16. So for a hat, I would have to do magic loop. So I'll be looking for the cords, for 16-inch cords, so I could do don't have to do magic loop when I do hats, because I do a lot of hats. So, and I want to try to do some of the Ross hats or sock head hat, and that's with a number 1 weight yarn. So I'll need to use these needles. So I would want a 16-inch cable. So these are great, guys. Like I like both sets. Here's my Addies. The only thing I don't like about the Addies is the case. I don't care for the case, so I'll be looking for a case maybe on Etsy or something that I can put them in. I don't care for the case at all. And the join on the Addies is a little rough going. I don't even notice the join on the ChalGoo, honestly. I'm waiting for either my birthday or Christmas to get the next set up. So it comes 2.75, I guess it's a deluxe set, 2.75 millimeter all the way up to 10 millimeter knitting needles. And then all I'll need to do is buy a few extra cords and connectors, and then I'll be set. I'll have everything. I mean, I have a cart full of needles here, needles and hooks right here. So these will be, I might need an extra big shopping cart. So they'll probably fit in there. Oh, I noticed my TV shutting off on me. So, well, that's kind of pretty, the scenery. The last thing I purchased was some cable needles. They're just cable needles, but I didn't have any cable needles, guys. So for that pattern that I showed you, the Cozy Up, oh, the ChalGoo or the Addie cables came with stitch markers too. Better hide my face. Little stitch markers, cute. So I was using just a crochet hook, like a small crochet hook. I don't know, what is it? What number? 3.5, but it has a very sharp tip at the end. Anyway, I was using that for the cables for a while, but I found this cable needle. Okay, normally you get ones like this. I have 3 of these now. They just kind of have a little kink in them. So I bought a package that had 3 of those, and then I also purchased one like this. These were all in a package together. So it's like a J, kind of like a candy cane. I just don't find it very sharp enough. So I'm going to be looking for ones that are sharper. But then I found in my stash, I didn't even know, I thought these were mini knitting needles. But they're little cable needle. Looks just like a little knitting needle. So cute. So cute. So I'm going to try the next time. after the next clue. Last week I was using that wooden one, and I was also using a darning needle as a cable needle. And you could also just, it's only 3, I think it's 3 cable or 3 stitches that you have to put on the needle. You could also just drop them and then leave them there and then knit the other 3 and then knit the other 3 that you dropped. But I'm too chicken to do that. Too afraid to do that. I almost said a scared. A lot of people here in Canada say a scared. I don't know if it's in Canada, Ontario, or if it's just the city that I live in, brought up in. Say some things that are kind of Ottawa Valley slang, we call it. So one's a scared, Hamburg instead of hamburger. There's quite a few little sayings that we say around here that I didn't notice until we moved here when I was 19. And I was born here though, but being an army brat, moving around, so I didn't realize that until I moved back. So yeah, that's it guys, and I hope I didn't keep you too long. I want to make sure I'm away for the next half hour so that it doesn't stop on me. And if you have any questions whatsoever, guys, just let me know down below. I'll respond. Yeah, I really enjoy coming to you, and I really want to get every week in. I've just had trying to catch up with that shawl was quite a job, but I was enjoying that. And then I had my mom's birthday and getting all that stuff together. I made her a hat and mitt set that I showed on the last podcast. So, and yeah, and there's been just some days where I haven't felt the greatest. Been down a little bit, a few days with things going on in this world, and just, you know, feeling bad for everybody, and just got to realize that I'm so lucky to have such a wonderful community to chat to about things that I'm just kind of obsessed with. And I'm not gonna lie, but I'm also highly, highly thankful this year that I have you all in my life, because this year has been tough for everybody. And if it weren't for podcasts, even just you guys, and my podcast has been amazing, and with the knitting and crocheting keeping me busy between, but also fellow podcasts. Like I just watch that instead of TV, honestly, for a lot of the time. So I thank you very much guys for joining me. Whether you're new, I highly welcome you. Like, welcome. I hope you follow me along. And normally I'm in my yarn room. Today I thought I would be in my living room. My doggies are just asleep at my feet here, so I didn't want to leave them out here tonight by themselves. And I welcome everybody, whether you're new, returning, and if you're returning, I greatly thank you for joining me in this crazy what do you call that? Oh, I'm lost for words. You guys just thank you. That's all I want to say is thank you. So have a great week, everybody. I will try to podcast again, maybe the night that I'm finished my clue 4. So then you'll know, maybe Tuesday night or something. So have a great week, everybody. Stay safe. And for you all in the States, happy Inauguration Day. I'm glad that's done. And it was a beautiful ceremony. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So no, I don't want to say politics. So mwah. Love you all, and keep on being naughty, everyone. Take care of yourselves and each other as always. Bye-bye now.